What is up, Scapers? So, this week we are going to be continuing on with our grind here. Gonna rock out with a little bit more of our Slayer stuff. Gonna take on some thieving training and really want to try to focus on getting that Pharaohs Sceptre this week. So we'll be knocking that out so that way we can basically put the spell altars in our house so we can change up our spell books without having to go to the prospective altars across the map. So really just trying to make a little bit better quality of life going forward. So that way as we end up getting into more bossing in the future, it'll just make life a whole lot simpler for us. So we're going to try to knock out a bunch of this week. We'll also end up getting into some other things I want to get crafting up and things like that. So that is our goal for the week, and then on the horizon, we'll take a look at what else we really need to accomplish. But we're starting to try to tick off some boxes so that way we can start working our way towards raids and, building up those stats. And then, as tradition goes, when you have a baby, you're supposed to get a 99 on the day of their birth. So we're going to see if we can set ourselves up with maybe strike for the 99. I don't know. That's a big grind. We'll see if it's actually possible. But might as well give it a shot. Do a little bit of just strength training on the sides. Not hyper focused at all, but Nagwas are a good way to get that done nowadays, and it's probably your best way to get it done. So we'll probably work on that a little bit this week, going forward as well, and just see if we can get it in there before the baby decides to make her appearance. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy.
In a world where one man pretends to be a woman meets another man pretending to be a woman meets another man who's a man?
Yeah, y'all know they changed that quest. We could have all been guys.
Together, these three come to create the GIM nobility, where they progress their accounts to become the next Master Ironman group. This is SpicyIron Adventures.
Alrighty, guys, so we are going to start this week off with a little bit of shard farming here. So, figured this would be an easy way, make a bunch of cannonballs here. I just haven't been having the luck on my Slayer tasks with getting my, Dark Light now. Should be Arc Light, but trying to get these daggum shards, I guess, yeah. So that way we can go ahead and repower this thing so we can go back to Tormented Demons and really start trying to get some of those drops. But we are going to sit here. I was trying to look at the best ways to do it. It looks like Hill Giants in here are going to have our best rates. So we're just going to kind of try to tackle a bunch of these things here, get what we can, and then really try to go from there. It should be a good way to get totem pieces as well. So hopefully we'll get 3 or 4 of those things so that way we can get some Scotizo kills in and stuff like that. But yeah, gonna knock this out so that way we can get that set up, and then we'll hit a few other things here before we end up going back to Slayer and trying to complete up that grind a little bit. But yeah, man, stay tuned, see what we get. And right there, we've got another range level coming in. So, gotta love that. So we are wrapping up the last few kills here, but so far you should see here. So we ended up getting 11 of these giant keys. First time ever getting these keys. That's a 1 in 128 drop. So we are about 1 underneath on that one. We got 9 ancient shards, however, which is 1 in 310. So that one we actually did pretty good. We should have been probably only about 5. So then that was what we were going for here. So this actually all worked out pretty perfectly for us. 1 totem top and none of the other totem pieces, which each of those is about 1 in 465. So I honestly expected a little bit more out of those, but there's 91 strength, and that was the main thing that we wanted to keep going for here a little bit. But the only other things that we got here for the long bones, we ended up getting a slew of those at the end with 6 of them, so about 2 over drop rate on that. And then the real big thing was we were getting sold heads left and right, so we got 75 of those when we should have been about 64. So all in all, not too bad. Really, ancient shards are what we were going for here. So That's a good way to start the week off. All right, so another clue done. Just had an extra hard clues coming up, so we are going to go ahead and pop this before we move on to some Slayer. So that way we can start trying to get a few more of these hard clue scrolls done, because I still have that stupid black dragon mask that I need. So let's see. Dude, the odds of that. Blue dragon mask. We needed black in order to complete our master scroll. That's just a dirty tease and a repeat page. Oof. Okay, we have finally gotten it. It is Dagonoth time. So we just got the Slayer task for 184, is that right? 184 Dagonoth. So we are going to try to run this with Dagonoth Prime, man. I don't have enough cannonballs to cop out anyways, and I said I would do it, and I really want that Ranger's ring. So we're gonna hop in here real quick. I've got my armor set up. Let's go 8 prayer pots. I don't know. Hopefully that'll be enough. Super anti-poisons. Probably only 2 should be fine, I guess. We're gonna find out, man. I've never just done Dagonoth Prime before in my life. We'll want a little bit of food, I would assume, just to get me out there. Maybe? I don't think we want monkfish. Let's do cooked antelope. Those are kind of nice. And then I want to make those prayer pots last longer. Room pouch, we want that to be for high alks. Actually, you know what we really want to do? We'll switch it up to blood spells because I can high alk. Nah, we'll see how this goes first. It's a good thought. It's a good thought. But yeah, we'll start with this way first. All right, so we're going to do that. And then we will, what else do we need? I want a couple of house teleports. 5, because it's not like we actually need a certain amount. And then hopefully it should be enough. We have all of our ranger gear. Oh, pet rock. Definitely want that. So that way we can go get out there. And we need the rune throwing axe. We're going to grab 2 just in case something messes up. Something always messes up. And then we'll give this a shot, man, and see how that fares. Okay, so first time ever doing Dagonoth Prime only. And I'm rethinking this, but dude, it was a nightmare trying to get out here. Actually, let me turn off this King's Route here real quick. It was a nightmare trying to get out here, so it's not like I want to reset and do this. I'm almost at the point where I probably should be just doing Tribrid here. And honestly, it shouldn't be too hard, but I think if I go over there, Supreme's going to hit me. So I'm going to be leaving all these freaking bones on the ground, which means I probably should have brought telegrams at least for the bones. Not that those bones are actually worth 15k to me, but you still want your bones, or at least a bone crusher. Something. I don't know, but part of me is thinking I might just go back and just Tribrid this thing. I just hate walking through all this stuff, man. But that might be what I have to do, and then just hope that I can kind of speed kill these things and go from there. Okay, so we set all that up, and that was an absolute fail, man. I am not set up yet for that 84 range. Not the problem. Trying to get all the stuff was good. A guy actually came in to hit Rex later on, and I was like, I probably could get away with doing this with him down there, but I think I'd do it with Ancients and shoot blood spells so I can re-heal, because I was just eating through food like crazy from those little minions that go there. So probably not the route we'll take. We'll end up making some cannonballs here later, but I think for now what we may do for the rest of the night is just kind of do some chill runs, so that way I can try and do the looting pyramid, whatever the frick that thing's called, so I can try to get a Pharaohs Sceptre, which if I pull this up real quick, Pharaohs Sceptre OSRS, it's going to be so easy to get. I guarantee you the drop rate is only one in 750. Actually, I don't even know if I can do that one. What's my thieving level? 78. Yeah, 1 in 750. So we're just gonna go loot 750 chests here. Let's see if we can get a scepter. Let's go! Okay, so we are just running through some pyramid plunder now, working on getting our scepter. So we were trying to do this where we get all our experience, but that is 79 right there. So that's a good level. Okay, so we're gonna mix it up a little bit. I am not going straight for thieving experience like I was doing a second ago. So we are gonna try to rock this out by just really trying to bum rush this thing. So we're gonna, I know most guides say that you want to skip. Oh, so that doesn't actually work for me. I'm not on the same tab as these guys. Most guides say that you want to skip the sarcophagus from 1 to 4 and then just grab it higher up. But I just don't want to waste all that time. So we are literally going to smack every sarcophagus, every gold chest, and then dip out and restart. So I think if I remember correctly, that brings the odds down to 1 in 320 instead of 1 in 750, which that's a lot better. And then we'll just get our thieving experience passively. You know, I've been doing this a little bit on the side, got 100k until our next level. So I will happily take that going for level, what are we going for? 80. So I'll happily take that, man. But we'll get it that way. Try to get this Pharaohs Sceptre, so that way we have an easier time with getting our spellbooks changed up. So, but I'm interested, for those of you guys that are doing this kind of grind and stuff like that, comment down below. Tell me, would you grind out 2 of them, or would you literally just try to get 1 and throw it in? Me and my brother were having this discussion. He said if he was going to do it, he's only getting 1 of them. And there he'll get 1 for himself, and then he'll share after that. But I was kind of thinking, I was like, dude, I'd rather just get it done, because teleports are fine and dandy and all, but they're really not that necessary if you ask me. But leave a note in the comments. Let me know what you think. All right, just doing my little check-in here for you guys, but I don't know if there's a way to mark how many of these things you're doing. I realized that there is a plugin on RuneLite for this, so we were rocking this out with the plugin. Not sure how I felt about it moving up there, but it just highlights the doors, and that has definitely become a game changer. But we're still rocking it out here. I think we've officially done about 150 chests so far. Maybe a little bit more than that. I am going nuts slowly. Literally just watching YouTube videos and everything like that to pass the time. So yeah, this is such a blast, man. Frick, give me the scepter. I don't know why these people would ever go for 2. It's not worth it, man. The teleports are not worth it. So, but I will say the one thing I do like is I've got it so it highlights all these on the last floor, so that way I know when it's like, all right, time to dip, bro, so I don't have to actually pay attention to anything. So, but yeah, we're still here. It's not a quick thing. And yeah, help me. Boom, and that is level 80 thieving. And the grind continues. The scepter will never be found. Pray for me. Well, it's a long way to Richmond, going north on 95, with a redhead riding shotgun, pistol pointing at my side, bearing down that highway like a modern day Bonnie and Clyde. I just want to get this stupid scepter before I die. Well, we met at a pyramid where we loaded sarcophagus. Nope, can't sing anymore. Alright, so I want to know that we have only been looting sarcophagus and grand gold chests. And if this game were to keep track, I'm pretty sure we would be able to prove this. But I'm like 90% sure we are at like double drop rate right now for the scepter. I am slowly losing my mind. We have done this at all times, mobile and on the computer, just to try to fill the gap, but we're not getting this thing. And I don't know if it's something where we should just give up or keep grinding it out, because in the end it's going to be worth it. And I mean, just with doing not an efficient thieving grind, we're 51% now to 81. And we either started this at, I think we started this at level 78 thieving. So without efficiently doing this for thieving and literally just doing this for grand old chests, we are going to gain a bunch of thieving levels. So there's the plus in that. But this is mind-numbing. Oh wait, sorry, this is RuneScape. Of course it's mind-numbing. Okay, so we missed a little bit of the thieving level update yesterday because we were playing on mobile pretty much all day yesterday while we were out of the house. But we finally hit level 81 thieving. So rocking it out here. We are almost to 82 here, and again we still have nothing to show for it here. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty baffled. So I started doing a handwritten tally to keep track, so that way we're not just kind of guesstimating how many of these things we've done. Because I'm pretty sure before we hit 81, we probably got about 200 or 300 rooms done. But the wiki says that if you skip to chest number 4, or room number 4, sarcophagus, and then still loot everything else, it should be a 1 in 87 chance to get your scepter. So I have started handwriting and keeping track exactly. So we are up to KC number 37. This is number 38 right now. And then we will see if we can get it from there. Okay, it is finally done. We have finally gotten the Pharaohs Sceptre. Ended up getting it. Well, we finished up at level 82 thieving, so we just hit 82, and then we got the Pharaohs Sceptre shortly after. So, in total, it's a 1 in 87 drop once you hit level 81. For level 81, I actually started keeping track of where I was going, and it was right at KC 55, or chest 55, run 55 if you will, that we got the Pharaohs Sceptre drop here. So that knocks that out, so we can start building that in our house. And then we were able to go ahead and move on to something else, or we are able to go ahead and move on to something else. But I think in total, if I had to guess, we probably did almost 300 runs before. A grind that normally takes somebody maybe a day or two tops has taken me almost an entire week to get done. But it is finally over. We've got this thing, so we can move on. So we're going to knock out a little bit of crafting, try to get it up so we can boost up to 90 so we can start making some amulets, a fury, and start getting that stuff taken off of our list. Alright, so we are knocking out a few more crafting levels here, so we're going to try to get on up to, really 85 should work, but we're going to try to get it up further. But that is level 85 right there. We can now do amethyst arrow tips and an accursed scepter. I don't know what the heck that is. That's something new. Let's do this real quick. Crafting. Let's see. I'm guessing that's under weaponry. Cursed Scepter. I don't know if I've ever heard of that. Let's see here. Let's pull this up here on another thing. Cursed Sceptre. It would help if I could spell. Alright. Powerful staff, crouch 70 magic to wield, direct upgrade from the Pharaohs Sceptre, made by 85 crafting, using the Skull of Vishan and the Pharaohs Sceptre. Okay. Skull of Vishan, that's interesting. That's one thing I want to start doing, is learning how to do that next. And the Pharaohs Sceptre is dropped from the Revenants. Another thing that we never actually go into, because we don't do that much in the wilderness. But interesting. Maybe something that one day we'll eventually start working on and get into. So, well, yeah. All that to be said, we will keep on going. And at least try to get to 86 or 87 so we can start boosting. So we have 10 left here. So we are getting ready to come in and pop off with our next level at 86. And then after that, we will start out with getting ourselves an Amulet of Fury before we head on over and continue doing some Royal Titans. So that is 86 crafting right there. We'll take a little bit of a break, but now we can do Amulet of Rancor, Huey Van Braces, Huey Coifs. That's it. But that also puts us up at 1875, man. So that's another total level mile marker right there. So I'll take that. So we are going to go ahead. I will make a mushroom pie here real quick so we can boost up. And then we have got our onyx right here. Let's remove these from that. We will hop in the group storage here real quick. Grab Brian's onyx right there. And then we're going to teleport on over so that way we can start making everything else we need to have our first Amulets of Fury. So we'll get that done real fast. Okay, so we have chiseled our onyx. We're gonna turn these into, I guess we gotta eat a pie real quick. We'll go ahead and turn these into onyx amulets. Undone. That's interesting. No wonder it looks like that. And then we'll come in here, do string jewelry. Should do both of them. There we go. Double onyx amulets. So we are now golden, man. So we will go ahead, swap back to the normal spell book. And then from there we will be able to finally have our first Amulets of Fury, which I am stoked about. I don't know why I grabbed two of those. Let's go grab some Cosmic Runes. I really don't know what I need for this. Just grab whatever. I think that should be fine. That should be everything. Teleport to the house real quick. And then now we have finally got our occult altar set up. So we can go ahead, teleport back to that. Do onyx enchant. There's one. There's two. Amulet of Fury. Check it off the list. We are now to the next level of an Iron Man. That's a big stepping stone. I'll take it, man. Let's freaking go. Oh, yeah. Alright, let's see. Can we get it? No, but 11 fire orbs? I will take that every dang time, dude. Let's freaking go. Swap that. Drink that. Pop that. Sip that. Rock that. And, dude, heck yeah. And throw that on. How did I take damage? I don't even know. Another recording. Another. What'd you get? What'd you get? Another eyes. Oh, that's unfortunate. We're recording. Dwarf weed. That's just what you wanted. You finally got it. Congratulations. You didn't? Awkward. Boom. All right. That is level 77. So I tried recording 76 earlier, and for some reason, OBS crapped out on me. But level 77 coming in. We'll tack on level 76 here also. So what that means is we can now officially do sharks. So major upgrade there for the Iron Man. I believe it is cooking level 80 that we need in order to cook those sharks. Hang on, meats. Scroll down here. Yeah, cooking level 80 to get to those sharks. So we got a little bit of work left to do to get there, but 3 more levels ain't too bad. But yeah, man, super stoked to finally have the ability to start getting some sharks here. That should be a game changer for us there when it comes to bossing, if we could just spend a little time there. And then shoot, I think minnows really is what we want to get. And those are at 82, so something to keep pushing towards here a little bit to get to 82, because that's when I think you really start just raking in the sharks. But I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. It ain't like we're getting there this week. Alright guys, so with that we are going to wrap up the week here, doing a little bit of strength training. So getting pretty close to our next level here at 92. But sorry for the delays, it's going to be like this going forward, probably for a little bit here until life gets back to a new normal. But a lot of trying to help out around the house again as we get ready for baby time. But knocked out a bunch this week, or last 2 weeks really. Haven't played a ton. I think I've probably played a grand total of, I don't know, 20 hours, maybe not even that much over the last 2 weeks. So, but was able to get a lot done, was able to get that Pharaohs Sceptre. Really just trying to start filling in this account here. We're going to keep working on some Slayer and things like that, and trying to mix in bossing and learning a little bit of all that. So trying to keep this account progressing, man, even when we're not on doing a lot of the AFK grinds, the stuff that we can do on our phones that nobody wants to see that crap anyway. So blowing glass, man, that takes up a lot of time, making cannonballs, so that way we can try to speed up the Slayer grind, and doing a lot of just the annoying crap that nobody wants to do. So that's the life of an Iron Man. But it's got to get done. Finishing up the week with the stats looking pretty dang good, and that 92 is gonna look super nice coming in. 91 HP just around the corner there. So I know hopefully our goal is to keep grinding out at the Royal Titans a little bit more. We want to get Brian that last scroll that he needs for range. We want to try to get one more piece to the staff, so that way we can have 2 staffs for the account, so we're not having to share, because that definitely bogs you down sometimes when both of us are trying to run barrows and other things like that. It'll hold you up a little bit. So we are still trying to progress here, but yeah, we'll see how it ends up going, and then we'll see you guys on the other side. All right, skip forward 3 minutes, and here we go. Level 92 strength. We are officially halfway to 99. Welcome to RuneScape Life. And with that, I'm going to end this, what would be a week, ended up being more like 2.5 week training video here for you guys, progression guide. But we will see you guys on the next one. I appreciate it. Shoots.